All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode, GPPD podcast. I'm KD, and this is
Nate.
Nate. Okay, gotcha. Drinking that stinky coffee. All right, so today will be fun. It'll be different because I've met this young man a few times. I've seen him, but I don't know the story, so I want to get to know the story. So today we got Officer Keegan with us. I appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so before we get started, or talking about some of this other stuff, I want to know, give me the background of, like, growing up and then how we got to where we are.
So I grew up like 20, 30 minutes from here and did not know anything about Grand Prairie. Minus, I used to come out in high school to the horse race track. They had concerts, country concerts during the summer. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I knew nothing about Grand Prairie. It's 20 minutes now. I used to think, when you're 16 driving, 20 minutes is, hours away.
Yes,
you're not used to driving that far. So other than that, I knew zero about Grand Prairie. I grew up in the area. I just didn't ever come to Dallas or East, really.
Yeah.
I grew up in Bedford, so we'd always go to Fort Worth or around that area if we needed to.
Was Grand Prairie like you see that meme of Simba where they're like, oh, this is Fort Worth, this is nice, but that's the shadowy place? Was it like that, or you just never?
Yeah, I just didn't know anything about it, so it was foreign to me. So when you're a new driver, you don't really want to go super far outside your comfort zone. So just never really came to Grand Prairie, so didn't know a whole lot about it. I went to school down in Texas State,
All right.
in San Marcos. Had a blast down there. Great location. Austin's right there.
Awesome.
Hill country's beautiful. We used to kayak, hike, all kinds of stuff out there. So did that for 4 years. Got a degree in criminal justice, of all things.
So you knew straight away this is what you were going to do?
At first, I was going to school. I wanted to be a game warden. So I hadn't done any write-ups with them.
Outdoorsy?
Yeah.
See, I've known you for I don't know how long, and I didn't know
Well,
that.
I used to be. Now, we used to have a place to hunt, and growing up, we had a lease out in Stephenville, and then we had a place up in Missouri that we'd go hunt, and then we'd go hunt in South Dakota as well for pheasants. But after my dad passed away, then we didn't have the lease anymore, so I lost a couple connections there. So haven't been doing as much hunting, family time, and all that stuff, really. But I wanted to get my kid into it when we grow up, or when he grows up. So
my kids want to as well. You and I both
money,
same,
and looking for a place. Yeah.
Same boat. We're living that domesticated life. Mm-hmm. You just get off work every Friday, and you're just like, babe, what are we doing this weekend? What's the schedule look like?
Yep, every day.
Yep.
Yeah, she's my secretary, so I got to ask her. Like, every time someone's like, "Hey, are you free this day?" I'm like, I have to ask her. It's not because she's running my life, but because I have a terrible memory, and I will double and triple book stuff. And she'll be like, "I told you this 4 times." I'm like, "You did." So I need to have a calendar. We used to have a calendar, but I didn't keep up with it enough.
Yeah, we had the iPhone. We share. Well, it does sometimes, but like lately, it's gotten to where I do the same thing. I have to tell people like I'm not a punk. Like I do my own thing. If I want to go do something, I'll do it. Kind of true most times. But anyone who knows my wife doesn't 100% believe me. But I've gotten where I'll ask her, hey, can we do such and such this weekend? She's like, well, check the calendar.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, if you want me to go off this calendar, I'll do that.
Yeah, we need to get back to doing that because that was simple. We only did it for like a month, though. That was before kids, so when stuff was easy.
We operate by the calendar.
Dude, she uses the calendar to win fights retroactively. Like we'll be
put something in there later.
Dude, well, we'll
it needs to have a timestamp of when you put the date in there.
No kidding. Because like I'll work a job or whatever, and it's that day. It's a quick pickup, and she's like, "We'll put it in the calendar." I'm like, "Why? I'm telling you right now." She wants me to put it in the calendar so that whenever we're having an argument about something I did or didn't do later on, she can go back and say, "See, on this day you worked this job, and I lose."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have that big, I guess you call it like a teacher's calendar, the extra large. It's on the side of the refrigerator. And I put everything down. So all the weekend stuff, of course, community service is like, no, I got to go do this, this, and this. And she'll still text me, hey, what are you doing Saturday? And I'm like, really? Like, it's
because a lot of people are in the digital age. So like,
I knew he was going there.
They're going to open their phone and be like, oh, this is what
I want you to be able to read
She's
it.
like, I don't have time to go back to the refrigerator right now. I got to ask.
Yeah, you do. That's funny. All right, so HEB. Well, I always say HEB. I don't never say Bedford.
I thought you were talking about grocery stores. I was like, why?
No.
I did work at HEB when I was in college.
Nice.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now we're getting them up here, so I'm very excited.
Dude, you would think it's the second coming of Christ. People are so pumped about it.
Okay, so they're building a new one off 287.
Yeah, Mansfield.
So my son goes, yeah, Dad, don't go to HEB. And I said, why not? He goes, because there's an off-duty officer out there that has to direct traffic, or else there's wrecks and all kind of issues. I'm like, what? And we passed by it, and sure as hell.
Is it open now?
Well, this is way up north, like by
gotcha.
Killer. And I'm just like, are you serious? People are,
Yeah.
you damn near going to blows trying to park and get in the HEB. And I'm like, it's chicken and fish, but it's an experience.
They have good tortillas and salsa.
Do they?
Like I get everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a cool store. But it's like Buc-ee's. People talk about Buc-ee's, how much they love it. No. Oh,
Why, bro? I love
because
Buc-ee's.
how do you like Buc-ee's but you don't want to go into HEB because there's too many people?
Well, okay, so the few times I've been to Buc-ee's, it's usually in the mornings. So it's packed, but it ain't.
No.
You
They name
don't-
streets after that place. Like, if your business is big enough, they name the street after you, I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
It's too many people. Like, we go into Buc-ee's, I tell my wife, take a left or right. Like, pull in, take a left or right.
Yeah.
I will walk 150 yards to the front door. Just park back here away from all the people.
Yeah, last month we went down to Austin for the Texas Peace Officer Memorial. We stopped at the one in Hillsboro.
Yeah.
It was the grand opening. It had been open like a day or two.
Oh, terrible.
It was packed. We had
Yeah.
to park like super far out, but
Yeah.
I think it's worth stopping by.
Yeah, no, it's like going to a damn Cowboy game. You have to park a mile down
Yeah.
the street and walk. No,
Yeah,
no,
I
thank
spent like $70 because I was like, I can't get that anywhere else. Can't get that anywhere else. I got to get the jerky. Got to get the food.
This has a freaking squirrel on it. Yeah, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, I was FaceTiming my wife. I was like, do you want get the kids matching swimsuits? Like, do you like this one? Do you like that one? I look like a
Oh,
tourist.
God, dude. You're the person I want to fight. Like, you're like, hey, you want to run in the store? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, I get my soda and I'm ready to go. And you're over there just, hey, babe, you want me about this and this and this? I'm like, dude, come on.
They have 7 flavors of this popcorn. Like, come on, bro. Come on. That's funny. Okay, so you said graduated what college again?
Texas State,
Texas
San Marcos.
State. San Marcos. Party school. Ah, yeah. Look, he's just smiling. I know you're married now, but let's talk about it. So how was that?
But you were
for
married when you started the show.
Yeah,
We'll see
well,
how
I've been with my
conversation
wife
goes.
since a little over 13 years. So we used to work together in high school.
Oh, okay.
She was my boss. Now she still is. So, so I thought she was just a nice girl. She used to come up to work when I was working. She was off. She'd bring me food and drinks and all that stuff. And I was 16,
Hell yeah.
naive, dumb. And then her friend was like,
No,
"Oh,
you're smart.
She likes you." And I was like, oh, after that, like super awkward before. Like I was
Right, yeah.
friendly with her and all that stuff. And then after I found out she liked me, I was like, oh, now the whole dynamic has changed. Now, like, so, but we've been together since we were
So y'all were
16.
together all through college? That's boring.
Yeah.
That is
Wouldn't
awesome.
trade it.
It's nice,
Yeah.
but I was hoping for some drama.
Yeah.
Nah. So, yeah, it does have the reputation as a party school, but I knew what I wanted to do, like law enforcement wise. So, I did have fun, but I knew I needed to keep my nose clean and stay out of trouble. So, had some roommates that were going in different routes. You know, they weren't looking to go into law enforcement, so I got to live vicariously through them, seeing all the fun stuff they got to do and whatnot. But
I can only
Might have
imagine.
blast.
Yeah, I can only imagine because So when I went to college, they had they put most of the football players in one dorm. Holy crap! Just
yeah.
some of these wild. They sneaking in kegs and crap, and I'm like, "What are y'all? KD, there's a party." No. I was like, "Nope, I don't want no part of that."
Yeah.
So I know it was going down.
I got a call from our dorm one time saying that the cops were looking for me. I was like, why? And like, well, they found beer in your room. I was like, okay. It was like, it was in the fridge. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to have it. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that.
It's in the fridge.
Yeah.
It's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, so Texas State, and did the name change a couple times?
yeah, it used to be Southwest Texas, I think. But that was when it was a real party school, so they're trying to change the reputation.
Oh,
So
God dang.
yeah. Don't
Is
change
that bad?
I don't
We're
know.
good.
That was like 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah, they used to be ranked like number 1 or 2 in the country, bro.
Really?
No, it was crazy.
See, I wouldn't survive a place like that.
Man, they got a river that goes right through campus. You can drink on the river, float, all that stuff. So
No way.
Dude, in that little grassy area off the river where everyone hangs out.
they're always in swimsuits when I was there, but
Pretty close. Because I took my boys and I was like, yeah, one, I'm trying to keep them like focused.
you're doing this. And
Yeah, and also like trying not to get assaulted by my own wife.
A river through campus.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat. Yeah.
So, how'd you? What made you sit on Grand Prairie?
So I was looking at the Game Warden route, and then I was talking to a guy that I had some classes with, criminal justice, and I started doing some more research into it, and I figured out since it's a state agency, they can send you wherever they want.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
So I wanted to be more local. All my family's up here. All her family's up here. So come to find out, he ended up getting hired, sent down on the border. They promised him 2 years, and 2 years come, 3 years come, all that stuff, and until you get seniority, you can't really move. So I just didn't want to be, kind of at will where I could move anywhere around the state. And then, when you start, you're low man on the totem pole. So you're going to the less desirable areas or the areas that need help and are short staffed. So I started looking at like city law enforcement. I was looking at Austin PD at the time. Granted, this was like 8-9 years ago, so a lot different than it is now. So I did like 7 or 8 write-outs with them. At the time, they were like the top pay in Texas. City's changed a lot since then. Department's changed a lot. So I was really looking at applying there. So I was doing a write-out like once a month with them. All the different shifts all over the city. So
Now,
really,
do you have family law enforcement or anybody that because that's not a normal thing to do.
No.
Most people are
they
doing
do
ride
one
along so
ride.
long,
Yeah.
or they do one. Yeah.
yeah, no law enforcement, no military.
You just knew you need to write out a bunch to be thorough and
Yeah, I wanted to get a good idea of what the actual work was like, because one shift is completely different than the next shift. So, and I wanted to figure out all about the city because I wanted to be well versed before I applied. So I wanted to, have that in my resume, when I applied, so I could speak to, knowing about the city and, doing more than just one minimum write out. So, graduation came, started talking about where we were going to be, and then, or actually before that, let me back up. We had a recruiter from Grand Prairie come down there to one of our job fairs.
Shout out to recruiting.
Yeah. No, it was Husky.
okay.
So started talking to him. He was telling me all the stuff about Grand Prairie. Told me to come set up a ride out. So I started doing research online. I wanted all my facts before I jump into something. So I feel like I did probably too much research. Like I was just looking all about it. Ended up setting a ride out. I rode out with David of all people. So
okay.
Now we're really good friends. So he laughs about that. He's like, I had no idea who you were, and then now like we're best friends.
Right. Yeah. And it's crazy you still applied after doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't get into anything that night really, but it was a blast. So then I applied, ended up getting hired. So that was a little over 7 years ago. I've been here 7 years in a couple weeks, so
Yeah.
been on patrol the whole time.
Yeah. So that's very important. Of course, I say it all the time. Do your freaking ride outs. Like, go ask questions. You're going to get on their nerves, but just ask a bunch of questions. That way you know. So you can make a qualified decision.
Now, I probably did a dozen ride outs. I rode out with DPS, Hearst PD, Grand Prairie, Austin, probably a couple others that I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like a dozen ride outs.
Okay, I want to
But
know.
you probably know more about surrounding agencies than I did. Then.
Yeah.
That's-
That was a long time ago though, so.
yeah.
How do you ride out with DPS? Let's go this accident, that accident, this accident.
So down there, I met a guy who worked for Hays County, which is the sheriff's office down there.
Okay.
He was kind of a mentor when I was going through college for me and my roommate because my roommate was going for criminal justice. He's a sergeant at Waco PD now. Just got promoted a couple months ago. Cool. So he met him, and then I met the deputy through him. So he was kind of our mentor. He set up a ride out with a sergeant for DPS that worked that county down there. So we started a ride out, and we're going. He ends up stopping this drunk female, obliterated. So they don't have cages or anything. So ends up arresting her. She's in the front passenger seat. He's driving, and I'm in the back. She throws up all over the inside of his car, on his hat. You know how troopers are with their hats.
You got to put your hat on when you get out.
I'm in the back seat, so he rolls down the window, and he's leaning out, and he's gagging because it smells so bad.
God.
And I'm in the back seat, so he rolls the windows down. So I'm just getting everything back there, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is terrible.
Nah, I walked that night. Yeah.
We get out in the Sally Port, and he sees her throw up on his hat, so he throws it on the ground, just stamps it. And then he was like, yeah, the ride out's going to be over for the night. I'm going to get my car detailed. We're going home.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Do you want to talk about the hat situation?
Yeah. So then we go to his office before the ride out was over, and I'm wearing khakis, boots, and like a nice polo, long sleeve shirt. And he's telling me about the requirements for the PT and all that. He's like, can you do the rower? I was like, yes, sir. I'm in pretty good shape. So he's like, all right, jump on. We'll see how you do. So he makes me do 2K at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm wearing nice clothes, all that. I'm done. I'm sweaty. He's like, all right, you can go home. Let me know if you want to apply. So I was like, yeah, I really wasn't expecting that at 3 a.m. So
That's weird.
Yeah, so I won't be applying.
Yeah.
but I think at the time they got like a cash incentive if they had people apply under them. So he was pretty. I don't want to say pushy, but he was texting me a lot, calling me persistent. Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that one.
Yeah. I was
But
gonna say.
seeing what they do versus like a municipality, I just wasn't really something I was interested in.
Yeah.
What was kind of the final thing that made you decide on a city?
I felt like it was well rounded. You get to do a lot of everything. I love patrol. Patrol is, you never know what the next call is going to be. You can drive around, you're not in office. So I like that everything is ever evolving, changing. You learn something new every day. Like you never stay stagnant at this job. So that's something that really drew me to it. Because I've done, before I got hired, I worked for like 8 months. And that job was just not for me. It was just.
What'd you do?
So my brother actually hooked me up with a job. So I was the assistant GM for a small amusement park. They had like go-karts and.
This assistant GM like it was fake.
No, like
Those
not that it was fake, but just like
the title.
Yeah.
It's the title.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
so
funny.
I was making like 36 grand out of college. I was like, man, I'm making so much money.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get a real job, you start making more money. You're like, well, now you got more expenses, so it's all relative. But
We're all so poor.
yeah, so he got me a job working until I got on with the PD. So
Yeah, that's funny. When
What
he said-
music park was it?
Mount Asia in North Richland Hills. They closed down now.
Oh,
They're building a
Poor leadership.
Peppa Pig there now. Some company from overseas bought it out and is
Of
going to
course.
make a Peppa Pig.
we should tax the hell out of
I
it.
don't know what that is.
Yeah,
Some
Peppa
kids-
Pig is like a cartoon thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll learn it.
yeah, that's funny.
Oh well, I have my 18-month-old. His favorite show is Futurama. So
Oh yeah,
Never
might
seen
be
it.
bad parenting. But he's 2 years old, telling people to bite his shiny metal ass, and it's on me.
Jeez. So when you say that was your title, I had a buddy that was at the hospital. And I said, "What do you do?" Because he had his scrubs on, or whatever. He goes, "I'm a hydration aide." I was like, "Man, that sounds fancy. What is that?" He goes, "No, I just pass out water to people that's thirsty."
Got a whole job for that.
Yeah, I was like, "That's your job." Yeah, he had his. little-
As long as you got a good title.
There you
It's
go.
all about the title.
I'm like, man,
It looks good on a resume.
True.
Yeah, be like assistant GM, but don't go look at the park. Like, like you ever seen Six Flags? It's just like that, but don't go look.
That's funny. So I know you said you like patrol. You're actually quite good at it. I was seeing yesterday on a shift report you had a good pop with a gang member when I'm having a pistol on him. Do a lot of stuff like that. It's work I miss. What do you, from a patrol perspective, like you get in your car, you start your day, what do you like to focus on? What's your kind of your
niche.
yeah?
As soon as calls are handled, because obviously that's our priority, I just like looking for crime. Felony warrants or, on-view offenses, narcotics, that kind of stuff. Any self-initiated activity that I can get myself into. I like seeing something go from A to Z.
Yeah.
Start at the beginning, develop PC, make the stop. If you can, search the car if you got probable cause, all that kind of stuff. I like just getting out and about and seeing what I can get into. That's what's fun to me. So 911 calls are fun. Some of them get to be monotonous sometimes, but when someone's calling, we're going to help them out. So some people call 911 for little things. Some people call 911 because it's a legit emergency. So some people are calling every day. So it is what it is.
Chronic callers.
What's the most frivolous 911 call you think you've answered?
There's a bunch. I don't know. Neighbor disputes. This guy mowed 2 inches over into my grass. He blew his leaves into my yard.
Dude, I hate
I
those.
can't. A lot of it is my kid won't go to school. I need you to come parent them.
Dude, I hate those.
And at the time when I started, I don't have kids. Like I'm going telling a 40 or 45-year-old how to parent their kids, and I was like, I have no idea. Tell them to do this. If they don't, give them a whooping. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
when in doubt, grab the belt.
Yep.
Or just grab them, put them in your car, and take them to school.
Yep.
But
I would love it when they would, call and, hey, tell my kid to go to school. Tell them if they don't go to school, you're going to arrest them. I'm like, actually, like, if they don't go to school long enough, I think you get arrested.
they're like, never mind, you can leave.
Yeah. No, it's not on them. It's on you, the parents.
Yes, I always tell people whenever they have legitimate issues and are concerned, I don't want to just bother you all for no reason. It's like, no, you're good.
Yeah, they'll call for legit stuff and be like, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm like, no, this guy's like has a black eye or, has a cut on him.
I was
like,
just going to a family disturbance over not doing laundry, so this is fun.
Yeah, I once got a call. He assaulted his wife because she didn't cook his sandwich or whatever to his liking. Beat the crap out of her. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing? So,
What's your favorite thing to find?
probably guns and warrants.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I like doing that. I like, because it's kind of cat and mouse game. A lot of people know they're wanted. They know the game.
yeah.
They don't have any rules. We got to follow the rules. So, getting good with case law, getting good with traffic code, penal code, all that kind of stuff. I like to always further my skill set, taking outside classes, stuff like that. So I feel like you can't stay stagnant in this job.
Yeah.
They're evolving, criminals are evolving, so we got to evolve. So they got to follow, or we got to follow the rules. They don't. So, we work a lot in the black and white area, but then there's a lot of gray. So, by knowing, your case law and all that stuff, when you can't detain someone, search them, all that kind of stuff, and then knowing we can do that in the fact rather than like, I'm here and I'm like, I don't really know if I can do this or not. So, I mean, if you don't got it, you don't got it. You got to let it slide.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like cat and mouse game. So,
Yeah. I love the warrant thing because most of them are going to sit there. No, I'm good. I'm clear. I'm clean. And then you run them. Like this one lady, she had 13 warrants, and she was a manager. I won't say where, but she was a manager. And I was like, ma'am, you need to give this lady your ID. And she was like, no, I don't want to do all that. And I had to go back and log in and find out who she is. Then I ran her. I'm like, 13 warrants. I went right back over there. And she saw us, and she ran in the bathroom. So I was like, well, take your time. Clean up. I'll be waiting. Yeah. Took her.
And I like playing the name game when people, when they're detained and they want to lie about their name. I feel like I'm pretty proficient at that. I got some good tricks up my sleeve.
Like what?
You want me to tell?
Yeah.
So tattoos are a good one. Social security numbers, criminal histories, addresses. A lot of time, if they're really good, they'll either have like a twin or a sister or whatnot.
Yeah.
I had one lady, she ended up having 9 felony warrants, and she said, I got stopped last week, and they let me go because she used her sister's ID. I was like, don't tell me it was in Grand Prairie. She's like, it was in Grand Prairie. I was like, I need to find out who this officer was. But she was slick with it. She knew CCH, she knew social, she knew addresses, she knew everything. I had something in my gut that told me, no, that's not her. So I just, pressed her on it. She was detained, so ended up getting her to confess. She said she'd been stopped a bunch of times, but...
Yeah, because, on a routine stop, you look at the ID, you look the same, you're telling me all the information. That's kind of where that intuition from just doing it for a little bit kind of comes from.
I was going to say, because this is not a 2-year officer.
No,
So,
I made plenty of mistakes at 2-year officer, 1-year officer. I mean, we still make mistakes today, but...
You don't even know that most time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just naive and oblivious. And
that was
and then a senior guy comes and backs you and is like, hey, you missed XYZ. And like, oh, I don't want to feel like that again.
Yep.
I had a guy. So he has this whole list of things that he's looking at. The guy actually told me, he goes, yeah, my name is Mike Johnson. And like Mike Jones or something. And I just looked and I said, bro, you don't even look like a Mike Jones. Give me your real name. Sit your butt down. And it was funny. He was like, okay, my name is so-and-so.
Yeah.
I was like,
Because you can tell. It's like, and it's so much like talking to your kids.
Yeah.
Where, like, I'll tell my kids, like, I'll ask them a question. And I don't even necessarily know that they're, especially like my 10-year-old, and he'll say it, and it's a lie, but it's written. I mean, just like in ink, I'm lying. Because he can't hide it. And I'm like, why are you lying? And like, you get in the same situation on the street. You're just like walking up, like, okay, yeah, what's your name? Or what's your ID? And you're like, oh, yeah, I've never had one. And you're like a 35-year-old white guy, and you're like, you sure?
The best is when they forget how to spell their name. They're like, well, can I write it down? Like, I don't remember how to spell my name. Like, you're 35 years old. You know how to spell your name. Or they just stutter over their date of birth. Or
after you get date of birth, like, how old are you now?
Yeah, count their fingers.
Yeah.
And I
Like,
love
you're 7 years off.
I like to make them nervous when they start giving you that BS. You just start slowly getting your handcuffs out. So that they can hear it as, wait, no. I can spell my name. No. You going with me? You going with me? That's fun.
Sometimes I'll let it go probably a little too long when I could just arrest them, but I wanted them to confess on scene, and I want to know who they are before I fingerprint them
Yeah,
and
'cause
then
that's-
have to do charge mod and all that stuff. So it's a game.
better for the
I like to
case,
play
too.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charge mod. Don't you hate those? You're good at because you're FTO, right? I hate charge mods.
They're pretty quick.
No, okay.
take like 2 minutes.
We would hate charge mods.
Yeah.
Because I haven't did it in years. And it's like, no, you got to fill out this form and you email it over here and then they're going to send you something back. And I'm like, man, can somebody else do this, please? Yeah.
He's just old.
Yeah. True.
So you're an FTO. How many years do you have on?
It'll be 7 in a couple weeks.
Okay. How was FTO for you?
It was pretty good. Made some dumb mistakes, just like anybody. I felt like I was pretty squared away. I mean, you can probably ask my FTOs, and they'll probably tell you otherwise.
Different story.
Who are they?
I had, first names, last names.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I had Diaz for first phase, and then I had Fuller, I had McGowan, and then I had Chad Roberts.
Oh, cool.
So learned a ton from McGowan. He's a street cop. Like he knows his stuff. So I had him for third phase nights, which was really good because done with phase 1 and 2. He's like, you know how to do like the basic investigations. You know how to do like a basic traffic stop. He's like, let's start honing your skills and learning what to look for and all that stuff.
Perfect guy to get on third
And
base.
I hadn't made a felony arrest until third phase. Like I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like all my buddies are getting all kinds of cool stuff. So I didn't get my first felony arrest until I was with him, and he spoon-fed me the PC. Like, he found the car. He's like, can you stop that car? So I run it, and everything's good on it. I'm staring at it. He's like, you think you can stop that car? And I'm like, what is he seeing that I'm not seeing? So I'm looking around, and like, start getting a little nervous. Light turns green. He's like, you need to find a way to stop that car. And he's like, is the driver wearing a seatbelt? I was like, I looked over and see the buckle sitting above his shoulder. I was like, no. He's like, so you think you can stop that car? I was like, yes, sir. So kind of find out he had some dope and then a felony warrant. So that was my first arrest. And then once after that, I was hooked. So
Yeah, a lot of people in FTO they get, because you're going through the academy together, everything's identical, your schedule, and you get to FTO and you kind of have a divergence where, like you said, you're not getting much, but then this other guy is. But a lot of times it's the people who aren't getting a lot in the beginning are getting set up better, because that's one thing I struggle with as an FTO. And I talked to a couple of guys that I've trained since then where they said, I wish I would have had you as an FTO later on. Yeah. Because I like to jump straight into that stuff. Like, hey, let's go catch this bad guy. Let's go catch that bad guy. I want to show you all those things. Whereas there's a lot of baseline administrative type stuff, just everyday type of things that like checking cars out and taking calls that are routine for all your FTO that are good to establish that baseline before you kind of move into the more advanced stuff.
Yeah, I'll as an FTO, a lot of times I'll dig into stuff too much, or I'll take a step back. Like I'll have like a 3-week guy, and I'm showing him like Accurate, OpsCAD, and like how to run NCIC, criminal histories, like, referencing this person's related to this person. They've been stopped in the same car together, and they're just like a deer in the headlights look. And I've been talking for 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I should. I'll wait on that. That's a little bit too far. Like, did you get any of that? They're like, no, sir. I'm like, oh.
They're still trying to remember where the light is.
Or to put it in park.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wait, speaking of which, these new Tahoes kill me. I almost killed myself. I don't know how many times making a traffic stop. I don't even make traffic stops very often anymore, but like I always pop my door. Yeah. So whenever I make a traffic stop on the old Tahoes, like as we get like that 5 mile an hour and under range, I pop the door and then throw it in park and get out, just in case they run on foot or whatever. And I try to do that a couple of times with the new one, and it automatically brakes for you. Yep. I did it 3 times on one stop, and because it's just such habit, like taking your seatbelt off when you hit the residential street. Yeah. And I almost bounced my head off the freaking the steering wheel a couple times.
Yeah, it's definitely because it's all push button, so you got to get used to it.
Yeah. That's weird too.
Especially when you jump in, someone's taking off on you, and you're reaching up, and you're like, "Where's that gear shifter?" Like, I know exactly where drive is or reverse is, but you're like, boop, 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 trying to get that down. I got a new Tahoe now, so I've got it down pretty good. But you can tell when someone's new and they get into it, and it's just like, all right, put it in drive, and they're staring, pushing, bowling. Like, is it working? Like, I don't know, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Well, does it say D on the dash? Yes, sir. Okay. Well, you're in drive.
Yeah, it's weird. I hope that's one thing I hope they do away with going forward is that little auto brake feature.
I don't know. I know it saved somebody's Tahoe on 360. They got out and that son of a gun. The officer's running, and they said you could just see the Tahoe just going down 360 by itself. Nobody's in
Yeah.
it.
So if you're over, I don't know what the threshold is, but if you're over a certain miles an hour and you pop the door, it'll stay in drive. So I think that's
Seems
probably
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's under a certain amount. I'm probably over because if you stop at just a few miles an hour, it's gonna jerk
Right,
you. But
Yeah.
so I don't know what the threshold is. Everyone always asks me. I was like, I'm not gonna go in a parking lot and test it out.
Yeah, I don't want to figure that one out.
If you see me chasing my Tahoe, that's what I was doing. T&E.
I got it.
Yeah.
10 miles an hour. Yeah. Bro, so let me ask you, as an FTO, because the one thing that drives me crazy is sitting in the passenger seat while somebody else is trying to drive fast. You know, like a code 3 call. How was it for you?
I've only been in a couple pursuits in the passenger seat, and those were fixing to get terminated a lot sooner than if I was driving. So you're hitting a brake that's not working, and you're yelling like intersection, intersection. But luckily, the two guys I've been in pursuits with, they did good driving. I have been with some OITs that didn't do as well driving, but luckily we didn't get in a pursuit or anything like that. But it's definitely nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Because you know your capabilities driving, like you got experience and all that stuff, but you have no idea like what's in this guy's head. Like he might be on 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and he's just like tunnel focused, not seeing anything. So there's been a couple intersections where cars have been coming, and it's on my side, of course, because why would it not be? And I'm like stop, and you're just standing up out of the seat. You're like, oh, I'm about to get hit, but luckily nothing bad has happened. So, but being passenger seat is definitely. Cops don't like giving up control, you know.
There you go.
For the most part, you know, we want to be in control of the scene, we want to be in control of driving, all that stuff. So that and patience is a big thing to learn as an FTO. So I feel like I'm a pretty patient guy.
I was going to ask you that next, actually, because I'm curious what your temperament is, because you're super laid back, like in personal life.
I'm super even keeled when I'm training. I feel like for the most part, I'm never yelled at an OIT. I explain it to them like, hey, this job is stressful enough without me yelling at you. There's so many moving parts, multitasking, all that stuff takes so much brain power. I kind of explain it to them like, hey, you remember the first time you drove a car? Like you have to think to turn your signal on. You have to think like, all right, how much brake, how much gas, and you're jerking the car like this. Now you can drive. You don't even think about it. So I explain that about everything in the training process. And eventually, you know, it all comes together and you can handle everything without focusing so much on it.
Yeah.
But I remember how I was in training. I don't think there's a really, unless it's like a safety issue or anything like that, I don't see any benefit to yelling at them.
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on how they're progressing, I have induced some, you know, fabricated stress just from me, like asking them questions or like giving them rapid questions while they're driving or trying to do something else. Seeing if they can multitask and handle it. So, but I kind of evaluate how they're doing before I want to add that, you know, fake stress to them.
Yeah.
I think that's very important because you don't want to warp the mind of especially a young officer. Like we need even kill trainers out there because we have heard and seen stories, especially in other agencies, where it was like, no, I'm gonna see if I can. I'm trying to get this guy fired, bro. This is day one. Like, you know, we know for a fact we're gonna lose at least 2 of them. So I want to see what he's got, and just adding that stress. I'm like, it's already stressful enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, kudos to you. I appreciate that because I'm telling you, I've seen it and I don't like it. You know, where you got that FTO and he's like, I'm gonna be a hard ass and I'm gonna get this guy fired. Like, what did he do to you?
Yeah. Plus, at the end of the day, if they make it through training, that's gonna be your partner down the road.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
do you want that that mentality of like, oh, this guy is an a-hole, or like, oh, I don't want to work with that guy. I never want to see him again. Like, all he did was chew my ass for 4 weeks, and I couldn't wait to get out of the car with him.
Yeah.
Or do you want him to be the guy who, when he's stuck or whatever, pick up the phone, and be like, oh, I can call Keegan, and ask him, whatever. If I'm not sleeping, don't call me at night.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna answer.
Straight to voicemail. Yeah, I started off every training cycle that way. I don't have the patience is not my strong suit.
Yeah.
But I'm also not really a yeller. So
Yeah. Like, I don't know. So when I was as a rookie, I know my trainer used to say, okay, if we start going code 3, all I ask is that you look left and right all the time. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, what is that about? Like, you want to follow the car in front of you and drive fast. And that's what he was talking about, that tunnel vision. He goes, it'll get you killed because it's the other people that we're worried about. Mm-hmm. And so it's crazy, but I was thinking back, like, as far as running track, our coach would say, I know you're running a dash or we're sprinting, but I want you relaxed. And in practice, she would make us look left and right. And it's to make you relax a little bit. And so that was something that, hell, to this day, I still do it. You're hauling ass 100 miles an hour, but it's like, no, you need to look left and you need to look right. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it just relaxes you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
You ever been scared in FTO? Like, as a trainer?
Probably just my first pursuit that I was in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
We were trying to catch up to another couple officers that I'm good friends with, and they had a good lead on us. So, if they're driving 100 miles an hour, you got to do more than 100 to catch up to them. So, but I kind of, it was his first pursuit, so I kind of reeled him in a little bit. We were still doing 100, 110, but yeah, I was pretty, at the end of that, I was like,
yeah,
we made it. So,
I'm okay.
But other than that, no, I haven't had any situations where I've been super scared or anything like that with the trainee.
You ever had to terminate one or try to?
I had been giving someone that was struggling. They did not make it. It wasn't just my decision. He had gone through a lot of different FTOs, same issues with all of them. So cumulatively, they made a decision not to keep him. So, but I haven't cut anybody myself.
Gotcha. What are some of those issues? Like, what do they look like? Because we always talk about FTO and sorry to keep harping on this, but we tend to kind of talk about like the success stories. But as far as not making it through, what does that look like for somebody who isn't familiar?
So number one with me, I give them the speech first day they get in my car. Integrity is everything. If you're lying or you get caught on the line about something small, you're going to lie about something big. So if you get caught lying or anything like that, I don't want you in a car with me. I don't want you wearing the same badge as me. I don't want to work with you. So integrity is big. The other main issue is officer safety. So I always tell them, like, everything in this job can be fixed. Like, everything can be fixed. Officer safety might not get another chance. So if you're safe, and then if they're going to violate someone's rights or anything like that, obviously I'm going to stop it. But but if I tell them they're being unsafe, then, you can't fix that.
Yeah. Right. And just as a caveat, when you're talking about like violating someone's rights, a lot of things in FTO can happen by accident. Mm-hmm. So you're like, you might, as an officer might think, oh, I think there's drugs in this car, for instance. I'm going to go ahead and search it. Whereas someone's more experienced with experience in the law is saying, hey, you might feel like that, and you might even be right, but we haven't crossed certain legal thresholds that give us the right to do that. So it's not like an intentional. I'm going to go abuse our rights. You're like, nah, buddy, not today. But it's like there's a lot of mistakes that happen at the FTO level.
So I'm still stuck on this driving thing. Have somebody been so bad that you go, pull over, and then you get in the driver's seat and you're like, I still want you to watch and learn a little bit because you're just terrible?
Not yet. I've have a couple that, hey, you got a green light, you got a yield turning left. And then you're just going right through it. So I'm like, it's on my side. So my first FTO, Diaz asked, he asked me, what's the safest seat in a car in a collision? And I was thinking about it. And I was like, the seat that my FTO is in, sir. And he's like, good answer. I was like, I'm going to protect that side. So I kind of put a little humor into it. And he laughed at it. So I was like, oh, okay, it worked. So, so I always tell my new guys that. I'm like, hey, what seat do you got to protect if you're going to be in a collision? And they're like, the driver's seat. I was like, really, the driver's seat? And he's like, yeah, because that's where I'm sitting. I said, where am I sitting? So he's like, okay, the passenger seat. I was like, no, you had the right answer. You need to protect the driver's side. I'm just giving you a hard time. Like, protect both of us. But no, I haven't had anybody that's been just absolutely terrible.
I've had to make them switch because they were so overwhelmed. Where it's like, can't drive a straight line just because the day's not going good.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what, let's just.
Yeah, the best part is when they don't know where they're going, but it's a code 3 call. So they're like in the right lane, doing 35 miles an hour. Traffic is like passing them. And I'm like, do you know where you're going? No, sir. Like, does it make sense to have our lights and sirens on right now? No, sir. Like, all right, so figure out where we're going. Or, depending on what the call is,
Yeah.
if the officer needs help or whatever, like, I'm just going to say, hey, you drive, I'll tell you where to go.
Yeah.
But we've all been in that instance where it's just like, I have no idea where I'm going, but I can turn on my lights and sirens,
Yeah.
so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then you're just driving, like, way under the speed limit.
That's funny.
Trying to look at the map, figure out where you're going.
I remember a dude driving code 3 and pulling up to a green light, 2 lanes open, but he's behind the car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you can scoot over. I got this, okay. And then he scoots over.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had it out.
That's funny. How does you're married? Kiddos?
Yep, got 2. We got a boy that's 2.5 and a girl that's 7 months.
Oh, no sleep.
No sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
I'm
it.
sleeping pretty good now. Wasn't for a while, but my wife holds it down, so she does a really good job helping
Yeah.
me. She knows I work long hours, so she helps out a lot.
Yeah, because your nights or
Days.
days? Days, okay.
How does she feel? I mean, obviously, days is a little bit better for family, but
Yeah.
how does she feel about the job in general?
She's super supportive. She does worry about me. That's one of the factors that I went from days from nights. Plus with the kids, my home life now is my priority. So I cut back a lot of my overtime. It's all about having that time with the kiddos because even the couple years that I had them, you blink and it's just like, where's my baby?
Yeah.
Dude, it's
So,
insane.
and I know you know. So I'm trying to learn from people who've been there and done that before,
Yeah.
rather than make the mistakes and look 15, 20 years down the road and be like, oh, my kids are out of the house, and all I did was work overtime. So that's one thing that's big for me. So when I was on nights, I told my wife, like, if anything bad happens to me, I'm either going to JPS or Parkland. Those are my two spots that, level 1 trauma centers. So she had my location just because she'd always check, like, okay, his car's still moving, like, all right, he's safe, whatever. So typically I would tell her when I was going to one of those hospitals. So I went to Parkland.
Jesus.
I left my phone in the car for 3 hours. So I get back, like, my phone is blowing up. Like, I got a bunch of text messages.
Oh,
She's
man.
calling all my buddies, like, hey, what happened? So she calls one of my friends who thinks it'd be a good idea to be like, oh, yeah, Keegan wrecked out. So I was like,
What?
Not the
no.
time to make a joke. Like, she's already stressed out. She's panicking.
Yeah.
I just
we
like,
fight.
hey,
Yeah.
dude, not the time to make a joke. So, yeah, I definitely talked to him about that. But so now, hey, I'm going to be at the hospital on emergency detention, or, I got an inmate at the hospital, just so she doesn't worry. So,
I think that's a good system. We all should do that because I
Yeah.
just send a text. Hell, now I'm not even on the streets, but it's like, hey, I'm running late.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they worry.
You're probably hearing about sharing location for the first time. So
Yes, drop a pin. Is that what it's called? You can
Yeah.
pin drop or something.
Yeah, so she's super supportive. There's no way I could do the opposite. Like, if she was a cop and I was at home,
Yeah,
no way.
yeah.
I'd just be stressed out all the time. Wouldn't sleep. Be worried about her. So,
I wouldn't be worried about her, my wife, like safety wise. I would just.
oh yeah,
just
I know your wife.
Yeah, I just like the constant threat of, if she's a breadwinner of her losing her job because of her like slapping somebody she shouldn't slap, tasing somebody
That
she
would
shouldn't
never
tase.
happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We talk about the job sometimes because she, what I couldn't do the job she does, but she'll talk about this one. She's like, "Why don't you just do this?" And I'm like, "God dang, girl," because it's illegal.
Yeah. Arrested.
Did she ever watch your location during a chase?
Yes. So, funny story. We got in a pursuit with some robbery suspects right at shift change. Went up 183, started going west into Euless, and I didn't know at the time, but I ended up passing my father-in-law in the pursuit. So
That's cool.
He calls her and is like, "Hey, Grand Prairie's in the chase, whatever, blah blah blah." She's like, "Is Keegan in there?" And I was like, so come to find out, she looks at my location, and it's on, Facebook, the DFW scanner or whatnot. And she's like, "Yeah, he's in that pursuit." Or she'll, pop up a DFW scanner and be like, "Oh yeah, Grand Prairie's in whatever city." And she'll be like, "Oh, are you in that?" She'll check it. Like, yeah, it was super, super safe. Don't worry about it. Speeds were low.
Yeah.
Like
And
120, 125.
And she gets on Instagram.
Yeah.
She's like, "God dang, liar."
So with the little ones, if they were, "Daddy, I want to be a police officer," are you the steer away from it, or it's like, "Hey, if that's what you want to do, it's dangerous, but let's do it.
They're so young that I haven't really thought about it. We'll see what policing looks like in 20 years.
Yeah.
I'd be supportive whatever they want to do. I would give them the facts though. As much fun as this job is, can be all that stuff, it definitely takes a toll on your mental health, your relationships with other people. You got to be cognizant not to just hang out with cops. So that was a big thing on night shift. Everybody else is sleeping on your days off. So you're up till 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. So the only other people you're talking to or hanging out with are other night shifters. So it's easy to get in that mentality of, all you do is work and then you talk shop. Like, as much as we try to, we'll be like, hey, we're not going to talk about police work tonight. And then, start having a couple beers. Everybody's telling their war stories. And then that's what the entire night becomes. Yeah. So the wives are sitting over there talking. And they're like, yeah, this is what we do every single time. So,
yeah. I just get in trouble because we can go to a group and somebody's going to ask me the police question.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Katie, I heard such and such. What? I'm like, man, I don't want to talk about that, but I'll end up talking about it anyway.
I just give them real boring answers.
Yeah. Or they want to ask, I got a ticket, or hey, what should I do? X, Y, Z. I'm like, get an attorney. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. People ask me about how work is. I'm just, it's good. It's fine. I make my job sound super boring just so I don't talk about it.
Well, you are sitting at a desk.
It's not the most exciting. That's true. Speaking of which,
come on back to patrol.
I actually don't say that. Where I want. Dimitri might listen to this, or edit that, please. The first name, sorry. Actually reminds me, I got a warrant for a guy. I got it signed. I should give to you. Or I thought about putting down a bolo, but I was like, I always feel kind of weird putting out like a citywide thing just for a guy I want to get arrested. But I forgot you like the warrants.
Send it over.
I did. I'm gonna leave here.
And then he'll send over the neighbor that's cutting 6 inches of the
That's
neighbor's
problem.
I'll
grass.
send that to you.
Yeah,
That's your problem.
And I'm telling you, I had to work on one. It took me like 4 months. Bro, they went out and had like 6 surveys done. I'm like, y'all are paying $500 for these surveys. And they were going back and forth. If you look right here. I'm like, come on, sir. He was like, no, see, he's over 6. That's my property. I was like, okay, don't y'all touch each other's stuff. It got bad.
Hey, 70 30 minutes cutting that strip of grass.
Yeah. I'm like, well,
Dude, yeah. If I woke up and my whole yard was cut, cool, appreciate it.
Yeah, that's funny.
He could think he owns all of it, but okay, I still live. They're trying to sell it out from under me.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you actually have time though to get some of those guys those warrants? Yeah.
Yeah. Days is nice because if staffing's good, you got PSOs. They take a lot of calls.
Yeah.
Desk officer takes a ton of calls. You got traffic, mental health. So with all those resources during daytime, it actually alleviates a lot of the 911 calls. So you have a lot more discretionary time.
Yeah.
Or I'll just skip my lunch to work. That's sometimes my downfall. So.
Look, I was gonna
Or
say-
I'll just my lunch is supposed to be this time. I'm like, I got to stop this car. Then I'll push it, end up getting a long report, and then it's like too late to take lunch. So as I've gotten a little bit older, I've started to be like, no, the workout's important. So
You gotta feed the machine.
I say, if you're still doing that at 7-ish years, it's pretty good.
yeah, so I haven't hit burnout or anything yet. I know a lot of times they say around 5 years, a lot of cops hit burnout, but I still, as cliche as it is, I love coming to work every day.
Yeah.
I like my weekends. I like time at home with the kiddos and my wife, but like when the weekend's over, I like coming back to work.
Yeah.
Is there do you think it's a result of anything specific that you do, or it's just your personality is just conducive to the job?
I get a lot of self-fulfillment out of doing good work. I don't do it for like a pat on the back or anything like that. Like I get self-gratification for making what I think is a good arrest or a fun arrest or a chase or whatnot. It's going after a lot of people that did bad things or have good warrants. They know, so they're going to run or they're going to fight or, which I'm only here am I like an adrenaline junkie. Like outside of work, like I don't like conflict. I don't like arguing. I don't like any of that. And then at work, I'm like, come on, let's have some conflict. Yeah. So, but outside of work, I don't make decisions. Like I don't like making decisions. I'm just I read a book and they were talking about like decision fatigue. Yeah. So like at work, you make all these important decisions that have long impacts and stuff, and then you get home and hey, what do you want to watch on TV? Where do you want to go eat? What do you want to do this weekend? I don't care. Just whatever you want to pick is fine with me. So that's really the most extent that me and my wife argue is, hey, what do you want to have for dinner? Luckily, so But
That's
now we've been
funny.
cooking a lot at home, so we got a plan. So
Bro, you just wait, cause it doesn't matter. You pick, and then I pick, and then she's like, you know, I don't eat that.
yeah. See, I think I'm being nice by saying, "Oh, you can pick whatever you want, honey."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "No, I want you to pick." All right, well, I'll pick what I want. I don't really want that. It's like,
You
well,
just
then you
said
know
it.
what you
Yeah,
want. Just tell me.
Dude, I give you one. Like if you want me to pick, I don't mind.
Yeah.
But like if I make a suggestion, and it's not just in marriage, but like because cops are the worst about it. We'll be on guard or something, and everyone's like, "Hey, what do you think?" And if I throw it out there, and you say no, I'm done.
Yeah, I just put it off on somebody else. I'm good with whatever.
Yeah.
I'm easy going. Like,
That's
But a group
funny.
of cops will stand there for an hour and a half, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm good with whatever," and then then someone suggests it, and everyone else is like, "Nah."
yeah, there's only one place that gets suggested a lot that I don't really care for, but
What's that?
I'm not gonna say.
I'll edit it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yes,
The
that's
hey,
because you're a sissy.
you go there and then you eat three plates, and then you go back to work, and you're like, I don't want to do anything.
The one here in GP?
Yeah.
I've
Pioneer
never-
and Robinson?
Yeah, I've never ate there.
It's just fine.
Oh, okay.
It's all right, but like you don't want to work after eating 3 plates of Chinese food.
True.
A lot of people would not have 3 plates. A lot of people would say, maybe today I just eat 2.
Nah, it's a buffet. You got your money's worth.
That's right. Oh man, I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
Yeah.
we used to go there every month for honor guard.
Very middle of the road buffet,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's hard to find a really good buffet.
What's a high end buffet then?
Via Real or something. It's Las Colinas. I just went there.
Never been there.
Oh, the brunch off the chain.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'm saying the name wrong, but look that up. It's in
How
Las.
much does it cost to get in though?
You gonna pay? 2 of us. I think I paid $75.
God damn.
Yeah, for 2 people.
That's a pretty expensive buffet.
I say I think I can eat a yes for 7.
For how much?
7.
$7.
He's a bitty
7,
mentor. He's
10.
got 11 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang.
Speaking of kids,
Yeah, I was gonna go. No. Go ahead.
I say speaking of kids, have you noticed having had kids a change in your approach at work as far as like taking risks? And
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I look back, the first day I came back to work, I was looking at all the stupid stuff I had done before. Not stupid, probably stupid.
Risky. I'd say
Risky
risky.
stuff,
Yeah.
and definitely changed my perspective a lot on, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, is my life worth, XYZ? Definitely been a smarter officer, a safer officer, having kids, because at the end of the day, we got to go home.
Yep.
So, when you're brand new, 1, 2, 3 years officer, you put on the uniform and you're like, I'm Superman. I got this vest, nothing can hurt me.
Yeah.
And then, you do get hurt, or you see other people get hurt, and then, it's kind of a realizing moment of, this job is dangerous,
Yeah.
So definitely safer since I've had kids.
That's good. At least you learned it early. I don't know why it didn't click for me for a long time. I mean, we probably had at least 2 kids, 2 maybe 3 before I was just like,
Yeah.
man, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But and even now, and I don't know how much of that is me learning, because I can be pretty dense as much as it is just I'm not on the street anymore. Because like if you show me a guy in an apartment saying I'm not coming out, I think I'm still gonna want to kick that door.
Yeah. I don't know. It slowed me down. And something, do you think it's because like of the gender, like girls and boys? Because like my little boy, I'm still rambunctious with him. Like we get in trouble together at home. But boy, when it comes to my daughter, it's like, no, I'm all mushy and reserved. And I'm like you, I don't want to make any decisions. I'm good to go. But man, being around Ashton is like, I'm a totally different dad.
Yeah.
I'm mushy with both of them. Like, I love my son. Like, he likes to play and be rough and all that stuff. He's like all about playing with me. When I get home, I get a big hug, yells "Daddy." He knows the routine now, so he comes up to me. He wants to take off my body cam, take off my radio, and he knows where to go put it on the charger.
Oh, that's cool.
So every day is kind of fun. Like, no matter how bad of a day you had at work or whatever, you open that door and you hear "Daddy." Comes running up to you, wraps up your legs. It's just like, you couldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
I love the idea of hearing that not be followed by, he did so and so, or he took this.
Oh, yeah, I get that all the time. It go into tattletale mode. I'm just like, okay.
Well, it's not like that every day. Some days I come home, both kids are crying. You can tell the wife has not had a good day. She's trying to cook dinner, and it's like, ooh. So it is what it is, but she does a good job holding down the house. So
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So I thought I heard you talking earlier. What do you do or like to do when you're relaxing, or you want to get away from police stuff, like a good vacation, a hangout?
Like to go. Broken Bow's pretty cool. Been there a few times for cabins.
Yeah.
That's not like a quick vacation, but spend at least 2 or 3 days up there. Normally get a good group because there'll be a lot of people can fit in those cabins.
Yeah.
Spend time with the kiddos. My son loves playing outside. Like, he would be outside all day long if he could. Take him to the park on walks. I really like to grill and smoke like briskets, pork butt, that kind of stuff. Haven't done one in a while, but I cook steak like 3 or 4 nights a week. So I eat steak like nonstop. So that's where all my money's going. So, but yeah, I'll grill out, just hang out with friends, family.
All right, so if I put on, because I want to do like a police fire competition, grilling competition.
No, I'm not that good.
No, you're gonna have to be that good.
No, you can call Alex. He can hook it up.
Well, yeah, we'll see. But I want to do
We're
that
at such a
at like
disadvantage, though.
Epic Lawn, where we just
They practice every day.
Yeah, they get paid to practice.
Yeah, true, but I don't know. I could probably give him a run for his money.
Yeah. I remember when I spent several years ago, whenever there had been some controversial incident involving police officers, and I read one of the dumbest articles I've ever read in my life, but it was basically saying firefighters don't go looking for fires, cops shouldn't go looking for crime. I was like,
I read that too.
Blew my mind. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was satire, but they were completely serious. But reading it, especially considering where we were working at the time and the environment, I was like, dude, honestly, okay.
Not a bad
go sleep.
Look at some of those cities that kind of want that.
Oh,
And,
yeah. No, it's not.
Once you
Yeah.
open those floodgates, it's hard to stop it.
Yes.
So
Yeah, can't put a Band-Aid on a broken leg.
Yeah, I read that though, man. That cracked me up. I was like, I totally expected to see like The Onion or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it was legit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to work there. Like during COVID, I had the hardest time working during COVID. Sitting on my hands is something that I cannot do.
Yeah.
And then there was so much good stuff out there during COVID, and you just have to watch it.
I missed that, and I wasn't on the street at the time, and hearing guys talk about it sounds miserable.
Yeah. Having detail outside, spread out.
Yeah.
You're here. Get in your cars. Just sit there. Don't do nothing until I tell you to move. What?
And like we only had so much jail space, so they would email out, hey, we got 4 spots, 5 spots, whatever.
Right.
So I made a stop on a good car. The guy had he had a federal warrant out of Florida, and we had 1 spot left in the jail. So I was like, "Ooh, that's my spot."
Yeah.
So I call Sarge, and he's like, "Nah, you're gonna have to let it slide. We only got 1 spot. We need to save it for DV or DWI or something like that."
No, sir.
I was like, "I gotta let this guy go. Like, can I take him to Arlington? Can I take him somewhere else? Like, he's got a federal warrant."
Yeah.
And he was doing like 120 on the highway. I thought he was gonna run from me, but ended up having to cut him loose, and it just broke my heart.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, is it that big of a deal? I mean, he'll get caught later, but
Yeah.
just me and my personality, I was like, I got a good one,
Yeah.
but I can't take him in.
Well, it's so opposite of what we're used to.
Mhm.
It's like, what do you mean let him go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something you're used to seeing, it's like a mandatory arrest.
No, that's
It's crazy
that guy.
times.
I'd let that guy go, but I keep his driver's license or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna accidentally keep it. Nah, you going to jail, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's funny. I know you said you enjoy patrol, but you have any other aspirations?
I really want to get in the deployment unit. That's what I've had my eyes set on.
Be a good fit for you.
Not ready for detective work yet. I would like to eventually get some experience doing the detective side of the house. Because right now I'm not well versed in, after we make an arrest, we do the report, book everything in, it just goes off and someone else handles it.
Yeah,
like
you
we don't
don't
know
see it.
what happens, So I would like to be more well-rounded to learn both sides of the house, but I'm not ready to be out of a car. Like out on the streets is fun to me. I'm not ready to, as good as the schedule is and all that stuff, I'm not ready to be at a desk quite yet.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's
If you can find a way to balance it, it's ideal. But kind of comes and goes in streaks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. Well, so we always ask everybody that comes in, what is one piece of advice that you would give a young officer, like starting out or wanting to get into law enforcement?
Make sure you do it for the right reasons. I always tell, people I'm training, do the right thing for the right reasons, and we'll be taken care of. Don't get in it because you just want to chase people and drive fast all the time, because that's not, that's not the majority of the job. Get into it because you genuinely like taking care of people and making their day better when they're having, the worst day of their life. Granted, now that I'm into the work, people don't call us on the worst day of their life every day. They're calling because neighbors cutting the grass or whatever. But some people are having legit emergencies. So I say get into it for the right reasons. Do ride-alongs. Talk to officers that are going to give you genuine answers about the department, about the job. That way, do multiple ride-outs. Because one shift could be super exciting, next one's super boring, third one's in between. So that way you get a real idea of what the job actually is. Because I feel like recently, not so much recently, but some people occasionally get in the job and they really have no idea what police work is. They've been watching cops or the IPD, and then they get in the academy, make it through maybe, and they get to field training, and then they're like, nah, this really isn't for me. But you've invested all that time, all that effort, and for what? So,
well, it's like you mentioned wanting to help people. A good question to ask too is there's a bunch of ways to help people. You could be a nurse or a doctor or a firefighter. Like, what about this job? I think nailing down why you want to help people, with a badge and a gun, as opposed to any other way, is good too.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming in and sitting down.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Till next time.
Till next time.